Welcome to the ultimate guide to plant-based eating for beginners. If you're new here, hey, I'm Healthy Emmie. I'm a weight loss specialist and a nutritionist. I'm also the creator of Slim, the all-inclusive platform that gives you a customized meal plan, workout plan, daily meditations, journal topics, access to me, everything that you can need to reach your goals on a plant-based diet, whether that is to lose weight, gain weight, or maintain weight. Step one, I want you to focus on what you are eating and what you quote unquote can eat as opposed to what you're not eating for two reasons. One of them is the lack mindset that can be cultivated when you're only focusing on what you can't have. This then turns us into a diet, it turns it into deprivation, it turns into a life of focusing on what you don't have, which is a very tough way to spend your time on this earth when you're so fixated on all the things that you don't have. It also, turns the grocery store into this landmine. It turns the world into a landmine and a threat where you're always being faced with the things that you can't have and trying to dodge all those bullets. Instead, when you go to the grocery store, when you make your list of groceries, when you fill your kitchen, I want you to focus on all of the incredible starches, vegetables, fruits, legumes, all of the things that you can have. And if you don't know what that is, I will link a grocery list below, a free grocery list that will show you all of the different things that you can pack into your grocery cart. But here's a quick rundown. I say that there are a few main categories. There's starches, vegetables, fruits, legumes, healthy fats. So when it comes to starches, we're talking about things like oatmeal, potatoes, sweet potatoes, rice, corn, millet, farro, quinoa, corn tortillas, whole grain pasta. Those are your starches. Vegetables, any vegetables are on the table, any one that you could ever imagine. Same with fruits. I know people say, well, what about the ones that are higher in sugar? All fruits are on the table. Just stay away from the dried fruits because those are super calorically dense. But any other fruit that you enjoy, go for it. Legumes, we're talking about beans, peas, lentils, and then some of the more processed ones like tofu and tempeh. Those are great options as well. They're a great source of protein. Then talking about the healthy fats, these are nuts, seeds, avocado. Focus on all of this. There are thousands of foods that fall into these categories that you can enjoy. And on my page, I have tons of recipes that you can try. Or you can just do KISS meals, as we say, which is keep it simple, sweetie. And I'll talk to you a little bit about plate building soon. And you know what? Let's just transition into the second thing that I had on my list here, which is the basics of plate building. I find that people get very fixated on recipes when they come to this lifestyle, but really what you need to learn is the basics of how to craft a plate. Whether you're on a plant-based diet or not, just understanding how to build a balanced, nourishing plate is key to your success. And it allows you to build what we call KISS meals, which stands for Keep It Simple, Sweetie. It is a simple combination of the food groups that I just talked about. So if you know how to build a plate and your kitchen is stocked with all the food groups that I just talked about, then building plates and having meals is going to be an absolute no-brainer because you have the formula. So the formula is this. Half of your plate is filled with vegetables. No matter what type of a lifestyle you subscribe to, I think that everybody, meat eaters, not plant eaters exclusively, whatever you are, half of your plate should be vegetables. Then the other half of your plate, we're gonna fill with starch. We're gonna fill with a source of legumes, that's your source of protein, and then we're gonna put a sprinkling of healthy fats on top. This is the simple plate builder to follow. And just as an aside, if you want to take the guesswork out of it and just have a custom meal plan given to you so that you don't have to figure out how to do all the plate building, all of that, then join Slim because you'll get a custom meal plan based on exactly what your goals are, what your age is, all of that stuff. Next, if you are going to go exclusively plant-based and you're not going to have the animal products, I need you to make sure that you are supplementing correctly. The first thing that I need to make sure that you are supplementing is vitamin B12. You might be thinking, why is it that we have to supplement anything on a plant-based diet? Does that mean that the diet is insufficient? The diet is not insufficient. It's that modern sanitization prevents us from getting B12 because we normally would get B12 if we drank from the streams and we eat the food that had the dirt on it. It lives in the bacteria in the dirt, but because we sanitize all of these things, we don't get the B12. So you need to make sure that you are supplementing with this. You can find this vitamin B12 that I made and I recommend on the link within this video. So it's linked down below. This is my vitamin B12. The reason why I created this is because most of the ones that I was searching for on the market weren't up to snuff for me. They had added sugars and oils and GMOs. They weren't even vegan. They were made with gelatin. So this is a nice clean one with no GMOs, no oil, no sugar, no gross stuff. The second thing that I would love for you to be responsible and supplement, of course, with the care of your healthcare provider, always, is vitamin D. So vitamin D we get from the sun, but I don't know about you, I wear a lot of sunscreen. I wish I was Golden Goddess. I'm not. So vitamin D is something else that actually 43% of Americans, whether you eat animal foods or not, are deficient in vitamin D. So please make sure that you're responsible in supplementing both of these. These are both linked down below. These are the ones that I created, super clean. Now let's talk about processed foods. I want you to be aware of what we call the health halo. The health halo is when products are slapped with vegan, gluten-free, organic, low sugar, low fat, low calorie, whatever it is, to make it look like it's a healthy food. But the reality is that if they have to slap that on there, it's because there's something to hide. You don't see that bell peppers get all this crazy marketing, that they're dairy-free and they're gluten-free and they're sugar-free. Everybody knows that these are healthy. You don't see that apples are said to be low calorie, high fiber, gluten-free, dairy-free. You don't see all of that on the label because everybody knows that apples are healthy. The foods that have these labels slapped on them are usually done for marketing purposes to give them the health halo to look like they're healthy. The reality is that there are a lot of foods out there that are technically vegan that are not healthy. Here are a few that I can think of just off the top of my head. Oreos are technically vegan, but we know that those aren't healthy. The apple pie from McDonald's was technically vegan, but come on. Lay's potato chips, technically vegan. All of these things are technically vegan because they don't have animal products in them, but they're not going to be health promoting foods. So that's why I say just stick to that grocery list. I have that free grocery list that's linked in the description bar. Just stick to that in your plate builder. Don't go out there searching in the middle of the grocery store for those highly processed vegan food finds. They're gonna be added sugar, added oil, tons of ingredients. They're not gonna be health promoting. Every time you package a food, you remove water from it. All the packaged foods that exist in the middle of the grocery store have the water removed from them. And when we remove the water from something, the calorie density skyrockets. So all of those highly processed packaged foods lack water and are high in calorie density and really make you feel good. They elicit that dopamine response within the brain that's going to want you to keep eating. So stick to the ones that I have for you on that free grocery list, or if you're in the Slim program, just stick to your meal plan. Now, because this is the ultimate guide, I would be remiss if I didn't share with you that there are some processed foods that I would approve of and that I do eat. Here is how you detect whether or not processed foods that you get in the grocery store are ones that are up to snuff. The first thing that I want you to do is look at the ingredients list. And this is pretty much the only thing that I look at when I'm looking at processed foods. Look at the ingredients. First, how long is the ingredients list? If the ingredients list is a mile long, I don't even go any further and try to look any further into it. But if the ingredients is a short list, now you have me intrigued. The first ingredient that's listed is the one that has the largest quantity percentage-wise within that food. So if the first if the first ingredient is flour, that means that the majority of that food is comprised of flour. If the next ingredient is sugar, then sugar is the second most popular ingredient within that food. You see what I'm saying? Now, when you're looking at the ingredients lists, there's two things that I want you to watch out for. The first is added oils, and the second is added sugar. Why should we watch out for those? That might be an entirely separate video for me to talk about here. But these two things, the long and short of it, is that they're A, very calorically dense, and B, they light up that pathway within your brain. They light up the addictive pathway. They're so calorically dense that when we add them to foods, they light up your brain like a Christmas tree and they make you want to eat more of them. And the third reason, this is the real kicker, why it is that adding these substances to foods can really get you in trouble in terms of eating large quantities of them, is that in nature, there does not exist a food that is high in fat and high in sugar, nor does there exist the epitome of dopamine producing substances, which is a food that has fat, sugar, and salt. Because of this, when we encounter foods that are high in fat and high in sugar, it sends this cascade of dopamine through our brains because it's a completely unnatural food, and thus we have an unnatural response to it. We have a stimulus that we were biologically never designed to feel. So when you think of the foods that are the most addictive, what do you know? They're the ones that are high in sugar and high in fat. And sugar can mean simple sweet sugar, or it can mean starchy carbs. So think about ice cream. Ice cream is high in fat and high in sugar, and they add some salt in there. Think about potato chips. High in carbohydrates, the potatoes, they refine the carbohydrate. High in fat because it's deep fried, and then you put some salt on there. Pizza is high in refined carbohydrates because of the pizza dough, the flour. Then they add in the cheese. The cheese is high in fat and super high in sodium, and that's why pizza is so addictive. So, all of this to say, the processed foods, which are by companies that want to make money, let me go on another teeny little tangent here. When big tobacco was broken down, guess what all of those people did? The people that marketed it, the lobbyists, all these people, they went over to big food. And they used the same exact tactics that got people addicted to tobacco to get people addicted to food. So they designed these foods, these substances, they inserted them into the foods so that we become addicted to them and we keep buying them and we make food more money. So how do we sidestep that and sidestep those foods chemically altering our brain chemistry from the Department of Redundancy department? Well, we stick to the foods that are on my free grocery list. As far as how much to eat, when to eat, I wholeheartedly believe this is part of the food philosophy that I try to instill within my clients, is that when you eat whole natural food that our body was designed to have, you will settle at the weight that nature intended for you to be. We all have a set point range, and it's somewhere within the healthy range for our bodies. So you're not going to end up at the same weight as your neighbor, even if you're the same height as them. You're not going to end up at the same weight as me, even if you're my height. You are going to end up at the weight, it could be lower than me, it could be higher than me. You're going to end up at the weight that is designed for your body, and it's going to be a healthy weight. It is not going to be a weight that puts you at risk for these cardiovascular diseases. It's going to be a healthy weight for you when you eat these whole, real, natural foods and you honor your body's hunger fullness cues. This is a big thing that I go over in the Slim program. I have an entire module that's all about, probably multiple, I talk about it all the time, and I've talked about it in the hundreds of hours of Q&As that I do a Q&A every week, and I've done that this is my 7th year doing that every single Monday. So there are hundreds of hours of Q&As that you can listen to where I talk about hunger fullness cues. But you being able to honor your body when it's hungry and honor your body when it's had enough is going to allow you to settle at a weight that is healthy for you, that nature intended your body to sit at. If you need more help with this, hop into the Slim program. I would love to help you. Like I said, Q&As every Monday so I can answer all of your questions. And if you like this video, you're gonna love the next one that pops up on the screen. I will see you, honeys, with your supplements in the next video.